Despite being famous for its violence, the Mortal Kombat series is filled with romance. It's honestly quite shocking how many couples there are in this series. So today, in honor of Valentine's Day, I wanted to rank every romantic couple in Mortal Kombat history. By the way, today is also my mom's birthday as well, so feel free to leave a happy birthday in the comments for her. The Mortal Kombat series has been around for 30 years, so if I forget to mention any couples, please let me know down below. Without any further ado, let's rank every romantic relationship in Mortal Kombat history. First up, we have Serena and Behan, possibly the most popular ship in Mortal Kombat, at least recently. And that's because Behan is finally back in the series. The guy's dead in most of the games, but finally in Mortal Kombat 1, he's Sub-Zero once again. And as a result, the fanbase has been clamoring for Serena and Behan to fall in love once again. So yeah, it's a pretty popular couple in the Mortal Kombat fandom, which is why it's kind of surprising how little these characters have interacted. They first met in Mythology's Sub-Zero, and it seems like Serena kind of liked Behan, but we're not sure how in love the two actually were. And as for Sub-Zero himself, it didn't seem like he cared very much for Serena at all. He was just sad that she died because she helped him. She was an ally. And after that, we never see Serena at all until Armageddon, and that's because that game has every single character. Or in other words, in the original timeline, Serena and Behan are together in one game, and that's it. Now in Mortal Kombat X, Serena brings up her relationship with Behan once again. However, unfortunately, we never get to see this relationship in the new timeline. It's just spoken about. And then in Mortal Kombat 1, Serena got replaced with Sector. That's right, Behan's girlfriend is Sector in the newest era instead of Serena like it's been in the past games. Which is why, unfortunately, this relationship is C tier, because we barely get to see any of it as a player. It's mentioned a couple of times, but we don't see anything extra on top of that. So I'm sorry, despite being a very popular couple, I have to give Behan and Serena a C tier. But next up, we have Sonia and Johnny Cage. This couple is A tier. I'm just gonna say it right away. The near perfect couple. They had a rocky start to be sure, since Sonia got pregnant on accident, and that's why they got married. They did not marry for love, but eventually they did fall in love with each other, and they raised Cassie Cage, who's a badass and also a pretty solid person mentally, so yeah, they raised a good kid. And as we see in Mortal Kombat 11, these two are still deeply in love. And also, don't forget the movies. In the very first ever Mortal Kombat live action film, Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage got together. In fact, the main reason Johnny Cage fought Goro at all is because he was worried he'd kill everyone, especially Sonya, so he chose to fight Goro first and ended up winning. And then many years later, in Scorpion's Revenge and especially Battle of the Realms, Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage become a couple once again. So yeah, they're A tier, absolutely. Next up, we have Raiden and the Elder Gods. F tier, absolutely F tier. This relationship could not be more one-sided. In fact, when you Google one-sided relationship, it should just be a picture of Raiden and the Elder Gods, because they never listen to him, and it's so sad because Raiden is constantly hyping up the Elder Gods to everybody around him. He's like, oh, don't worry, the Elder Gods will save us. They love me. I love them. They're the best. And whenever Raiden has a tough question, he consults with the Elder Gods, but guess what? They never give him anything. They return zero of his kindness. It's become a meme how useless the Elder Gods are and how much they ignore Raiden. So yeah, this relationship is an F tier. But next up, we have Tanya and Mileena, another popular couple in the Mortal Kombat fandom. And for this ranking, it's gonna be tricky because there's technically two entirely different relationships going on. In Mortal Kombat 1, they're A tier. Absolutely, these characters would sacrifice themselves in a moment to save each other and are definitely deeply in love. That's very clear in the story mode of Mortal Kombat 1, and there's also some lore you can dig into that explains how much these characters love each other. So yeah, in Mortal Kombat 1, Tanya and Mileena are A tier to be sure. However, in every other timeline, I have to give them a D, and that's because even if Tanya does love Mileena a little bit, there's zero doubt in my mind that she would betray Mileena instantly if it bettered her own cause. Because we've seen it time and time again. Tanya will kill and betray everybody if it makes life better for her. And Mileena's not better because she would love anybody who loves her back. It's hard for her to find attraction with anybody due to her crazy Tarkatan face, so I feel a bit bad for her, but my point is, I don't think it's really love with Mileena. Instead, it's more likely lust mixed with loneliness, which is a deadly chemical concoction for sure. Next up, we have Katana and Liu Kang, S tier, certified S tier, possibly the only S tier ranking I'm gonna give in this entire video, because in every game and every movie, these two are in love with each other and they're committed, they're loyal, they would jump on a grenade for each other, absolutely. Absolutely. And to end the series in Mortal Kombat 11, the two of them shape the entire universe together. So for the entire series, Liu Kang and Katana are together, and that hasn't changed despite the reboots and the new era. It's still Liu Kang and Katana. There's honestly no better mascot for Valentine's Day than these two right here. Oh boy, but next up we have Jade and Cotal Khan. I made an entire video about how this relationship is extremely toxic. And on top of that, it's also a retcon. Cotal Khan and Jade had zero interaction in the previous games, and even in the prequel comics before MK11, these two never met. They were not a thing. In other words, NetherRealm made this up. There was never a relationship between Cotal and Jade. They invented this whole thing, I'm guessing because they're both green. Because Jade and Cotal have zero in common. In fact, I only need one example to prove how terrible these two are for each other. During story mode, Cotal Khan is about to commit genocide on the Tarkatans. Jade stops him and says, wait, they're not all guilty. There's women here, there's children here, there's families, not just warriors here. Cotal Khan wants to execute all of them, and she says, no, that's heartless. And you know what Cotal does? Do you want to guess what he does to Jade? He tries beating her into submission because she says, don't commit genocide. Yeah, I think that's the only example I need to prove how toxic this relationship is. Cotal Khan did not talk it out with Jade, he tried to beat her into submission, which is why normally I would rank them F tier, but you know what? In honor of Valentine's Day, I'll put them at the bottom of D tier. Next up, we have Sindelle and Shao Kahn, F tier, complete fan fiction by NetherRealm and also a terrible retcon. In the previous games, Sindelle was brainwashed. That's the only reason she worked alongside Shao Kahn, and even then, I don't think she had feelings for him because she was brainwashed. She remembered nothing. So Mortal Kombat 11 is the only game where Sindelle and Shao Kahn are a genuine couple, but as mentioned earlier, it's a disgusting retcon where Sindelle betrayed her own husband and was the one to kill him, instead of Shao Kahn invading and doing it himself, like in every past game we played. Terrible retcon, absolutely awful, and a spit in the face to anybody who's been keeping up with the series. Now with that all said, they're a fun power couple because they are so delightfully evil. I enjoyed watching them do terrible and awful things because I knew it was a fan fiction and not really canon to any fans out there. So in that one small way, I enjoyed this new relationship, but it's still an F tier. Because even Sindelle admits the only reason she's attracted to Shao Kahn is because he's so powerful, which means if anybody else defeated him in combat, then Sindelle would just fall in love with them instead. Next up, we have Scorpion and Harumi. I've got to give these two an A tier. Even though they've only been seen together in one game and a couple of the movies, the truth is every Mortal Kombat fan knows how deeply Scorpion loved his wife. It's what drove him to complete revenge in the first place. Scorpion has spent the entire series avenging his dead wife and family. That's no exaggeration. And then in Mortal Kombat 1, we learned that Hanzo has never stopped looking for a living version of Harumi. He's been searching every timeline, every realm, just to find one reality where Harumi could live happily with him. So if that's not love, if that's not loyalty and commitment, then I don't know what is. So yeah, that's A tier. I would give it S tier if we saw more of their relationship, but all we know for a fact is that Scorpion loved Harumi deeply. We don't see enough of Harumi's love for Scorpion, which is the only reason why it's A tier and not S tier, which it definitely could be in the future. So next up, let's talk about Teada and Jackie Briggs. I've got to give these two B tier. They've only been on screen together in one game. However, even so, their chemistry was great. They both saved each other, and in Mortal Kombat 11, it's confirmed the two are engaged, according to intro dialogue. So yeah, they made it work. So even though Jackie and Teada are only together in 2 games, I can't find any flaws in their relationship. So yeah, I gotta give them B tier. Next up, we have Reptile and Chameleon, S tier. Certified S tier couple. In fact, I don't think there's a better couple in the entire series of Mortal Kombat. Reptile and Chameleon are a match made in heaven with the deepest lore. There's pages upon pages covering their relationship, and every Mortal Kombat fan knows this. So yeah, Chameleon and Reptile, S tier. And no, I'm not just saying that for Sonica XD. Alright, but next up we have the Turbo Round. These relationships are mentioned in intro dialogues or very briefly mentioned in the series. And as a result, all of these relationships are going in D tier. Baraka and Mileena, Reiko and Mileena, Cabal and Serena, Noob and Jataka, Erron Black and Latara, Erron Black and Scarlet, D'Vorah and Kotal Khan. And I think that's it. Let me know if I missed anybody, but I believe in the games at least, that's every minor relationship not worth discussing, but I still wanted to mention them because Valentine's Day. Which means finally it's time for the last couple to be ranked in this video. Onaga and Lee May. I've got to put these two in the Universe Destroyer tier because these two killed every Elder God and also destroyed the fabric of reality as we know it, uniting all the realms together, which pretty much ended all existence. Which, when you think about it, is pretty much the most Mortal Kombat thing you can do. Forget about fatalities, these two killed the entire Mortal Kombat universe. And at the end of the day, if that's not love, then I don't know what is. Thanks for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed. As mentioned earlier, I likely did miss a couple here or there, so let me know about them in the comments down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.